Dear secondary stage students, welcome to our English program. Today we are going to continue Unit 8. This is Part 3. Do you remember the title of our unit? The Robot. Do you remember the word robot? Of course, the word robot is a word which is familiar to all of you. The robot is a machine which is programmed to act or to perform like a human being. And it looks like a human being. It resembles a human being. And we have talked about the word artificial intelligence. Do you remember the word artificial intelligence? Means the intelligence of the machine. Means that the machine or the computer can do something like what the human can do. Okay? Today we are going to talk about technology, how technology is very important in our life, and what is the most important invention that we cannot live without, and how can technology help us in learning English. Okay, let's start our lesson today. What are our objectives for today? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to listen and determine the central idea of the text. We're going to do a listening exercise. Compare and contrast conflicting arguments, forming opinion. We are going to study how to express our opinion. First of all, let's answer this question. What will you do if you wanted to find information about a new film? If you want to find information about anything in the world, what will you do? What will you do if you have a lot of time, a lot of free time? All of us, when we have free time, what can we do? Of course, all of us use the internet. Of course, we will use the internet. If you have free time, you can watch a movie on the internet. You can watch a match if you like it. You can listen to music. If you wanted to find information, you can search for it online. So the internet is very, very important in our life nowadays, and we cannot do without it. What would happen if there wasn't internet anymore? Of course, here we used if type 2. Do you remember in the last session we talked about if type 2? It's an imaginary situation. What would happen if there weren't any internet? What can we do in our life if we get up early in the morning and find that there isn't internet anymore? Of course, business all over the world would be badly affected because a lot of business is done online. For example, if you wanted to book a ticket, you will book it online. If you wanted to buy something, you can buy it online. So all this business will be affected. Again, life would be boring because, as we said, the internet is very interesting for us. So life would be very boring and we wouldn't be able to communicate with each other, because one of the advantages of the internet is that we can communicate with each other using the internet. We can use WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, and so on. So we can communicate with each other. So if there isn't any internet, our life will be boring. What are the pros and the cons of the internet? The pros and the cons means the upsides and downsides, the good things and the bad thing about the internet. What is good and what is bad about the internet? You are going to listen carefully and tell me. I'm going to ask you some questions, so listen carefully, okay?
Listen to Ahmed and Mustafa discussing the causes and results of the invention of the internet.
Well, the reason that we have the internet is so that people in different countries can talk to each other very easily and get answers to their questions very quickly. Although we need this fast and easy communication, it can lead to problems if people spend too much time talking online and don't work or study enough. I wouldn't say that the internet has caused a lot of problems, but I think it has caused some.
The problem with the internet is that it makes people feel like they aren't good enough. If you go online, you see all these photos of beautiful people on luxury holidays, and you think, why isn't my life like that? This makes some people really unhappy. Perhaps we should all concentrate on our own lives and our own friends, and not use the internet anymore.
Okay, now what is the advantage of the internet? What is the advantage of the invention of the internet? As we have heard in the text, the internet has many advantages. One of them is to communicate with each other. Another is to do research. If you wanted to do a project for a school, or you wanted to do your homework, you can seek for help from the internet. But sometimes it has some disadvantages, like the example which is mentioned in the listening. When we see people in luxury hotels, luxury holidays, what does it mean, luxury? Luxury means very expensive. People are staying in very expensive hotels, are wearing very expensive clothes, or are eating in very expensive restaurants, luxury places or luxury products. So we feel why we aren't as these people, why our life isn't like them. So we feel bad. So the internet helps to connect people from all over the world. This is one advantage. What is the disadvantage of the internet? As I told you, people may waste a lot of time using the internet and stop working or studying. This is one disadvantage, is that you stop studying, you stop working, and you just use the internet. So this is one disadvantage. What is the main problem with the internet? The main problem with the internet is that it makes people feel they aren't good enough. They aren't good enough. When they see photos of other people on luxury holidays, as I told you, luxury holidays means holidays which are very costly, very expensive. They ask why their life isn't the same. Yani every one of us wants his life to be the same as those people. That's why they feel so unhappy. So here the internet can be a source of trouble. It can cause people problems. So as we listened, he advised us to concentrate on our life, to focus on our life, not to look at anyone else. Find a word which means focus. Focus. We have listened to the word concentrate in the listening text. So the advice which was given to us in the listening is to concentrate on our own life and not to look at anyone's life. So what's concentrate? Concentrate means focus. Find the word with the same meaning of high class. High class. High class means something very, very expensive. High class. So it's luxury. As we heard in the listening text, some people are spending luxury holidays. Luxury places means high-class places, 5-star hotels, and so on. So this is high class or luxury, means very, very expensive. Now we wanted to talk about an invention. In this way, we are going to mention the invention, and then we are going to talk about it, the advantage and disadvantage. For example, we can say the reason that we have the internet is that it helps us to communicate, or is so that it can help us to communicate. Although we need the internet, it can lead to many problems. It can lead to many problems. The problems with the internet is that it makes people stop working and waste their time. Perhaps we should concentrate on our own life. One day we will be able to use the internet for our research, for our study, and not for just playing. So every one of us can talk about the invention which he thinks is the best for him. Every one of us can talk about one invention. Which invention is the best? Is it the mobile? Is it the internet? Is it the computer? You can use any one of these and talk about it in the same way. Talk about the advantages and the disadvantages. Now let's move to another question. Can technology help people to learn? Of course, we hear about a lot of apps, a lot of sites which can help us to learn English. Can technology help people to learn? Listen to Amal and Hannah talking about technology and take the idea they mentioned. So we are going to listen again to two people talking, and we are going to take the ideas which they told us or which they mentioned. Listen carefully, and I'm going to return and ask you some questions.
Listen to Amal and Hannah discussing how technology helps people to learn. Tick the ideas they mention that you thought of in the brainstorm exercise.
Technology is so useful when you're learning something, Khana. You can find the information you need really quickly. If you don't understand a word when you're reading a text, you can find the translation for it.
You're right, Amal. But does that really help you to learn? I think that if you learn something, you remember it, and you can use it when you're talking or writing. Technology can't help you remember things or write texts.
Well, not exactly, but if you use a language app, for example, you can do quizzes about new words to help you remember them. And there are apps that give you feedback on your writing, so you can do it better next time.
I understand what you're saying. That's just not the way I learn. I prefer using a pen and paper and making notes in my notebook. I don't need a smartphone.
That's okay. Everyone's different. For me, the best thing about using technology to learn is that you can chat to people from all over the world online. That's really nice when you're doing your homework on your own. If you have questions, they'll help you.
Okay, now we listen to the text. We listen to a conversation between Amal and Hannah, and they were talking about technology and how technology helps them to learn language. Of course, technology can be very helpful when you learn language because you can, for example, look up a word in a dictionary. You can listen to the pronunciation of the word. There are some apps which help you learn new vocab and learn new grammar. You can communicate with people using the language. So technology helps us a lot in learning many subjects, especially languages. Now look at this. How can technology help us learn? We have many ideas in the listening. One of them is that it can help students to do quizzes online to evaluate themselves. To do quizzes. طبعا احنا فاكرين الكولوكيشن كنا بنقول كولوكيشن ان احنا نستخدم do a quiz, do a test, do a project, do research. فاحنا هنا بنقول do quizzes online. What else? It can help students do research. Again, we use do research. Do research. It can help students translate from one language to another. So again, technology can help us. All of us use Google Translate, right? We use Google Translate. When we don't know the translation of a word, you can easily use Google Translate and it can help you. So students can translate from language to another. It can help people who do not live near school. So if you are not living near school, you can study online. So here it can help a lot. Now let's look at some of the definitions of the new words which appeared in the listening. We have the word translation. Of course, this word is very familiar to you. The verb is translate and the noun is translation. What's the translation? Translation means words changed into another language. We change the words from one language to another. for example, from English into Arabic or from Arabic into English. What is an app? App is the short form of application. What is application? It's a software on your smartphone. So we can say, I have an app to book tickets. I have an app to learn languages. So app is a program, is a software on your mobile, on your smartphone, which can help you do something. What is the word quiz? A quiz. A quiz is a short test. It's a test of how much you have learned. So when I give you a rule or I explain a lesson, after it I give you a quiz. Means a short test to test understanding, to test how much you learned. Okay, this is a quiz. What about to chat? كلنا بنستخدم الكلمة دي to chat with your friends. What's to chat? Means to communicate, means to speak with your friends, to communicate with other people online. What about the word feedback? If you buy something, for example, and the owner of this product or the seller of this product wants your feedback. What is the feedback? Feedback means your opinion. What's good about this thing and what's bad about this thing. So this is we call feedback. So what's feedback? Feedback means the information about how well or bad you did something. So the information about how well or bad, how good or bad something was. So when I say give me your feedback about the lesson, means you will tell me what's good about my lesson and what's bad, what you understood and what you didn't understand. So the good thing and the bad thing about something, this is feedback. So feedback again means your opinion about something, the good points and the bad points about something. Now we're going to write an essay about the advantages and disadvantages of having technology in the house. What is the advantages and disadvantages of having technology? All of us have technology in our house. For example, we have washing machine, we have dishwasher, we have air conditioning, we have a computer. All of us have smartphones which you can connect to the internet. So all of us can't do without technology. So technology is very, very important in our life. We can't do without it. But technology also have some disadvantages. It can make us lazy. Okay? So now I wanted to give you an idea how to write an essay. If you wanted to write an essay, you're going, first of all, to make an introduction. You're going to write an introduction. What is the introduction? Introduction means that you give us the main idea of the essay you are going to talk about. Introduce the topic and explain why it is important. So if you are going to talk about technology, you're going to say, for example, that technology is very important for all of us. We can't do without it. We can't imagine our life without technology. So this is an introduction. This is the main idea. After that, you're going to make two paragraphs. One is talking about the advantages and the other is talking about the disadvantages. So first of all, you're going to write the introduction. Then you are going to write two paragraphs. One is about advantages of technology and the other is about disadvantages. For example, as we said before, the internet is very important. We can communicate with each other. We can search for information. We can watch films, music, and so on. These are advantages. What about the disadvantages? It can make us lazy. It can make us leave our work, stop working or stop studying. It can make us look at other people's life and wish to be like them. So we feel unhappy. These are disadvantages. And finally, at the end, we use the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is the end of the essay. This is the end of the essay. In the conclusion, we can give our opinion. We can say that the internet is very important, but it has some disadvantages. We can take the advantages and leave out the disadvantages. Okay, so let's look again at this form of the essay. First of all, we have introduction to introduce the topic and explain why it is important. Then we have the advantage, explain the advantages and give specific examples. Of course, the more you give examples, the more you can write a good essay. Then you are going to write the disadvantages, explain the disadvantages, and give specific examples. Then we have the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Give your opinion and the reasons for your choice. Now we have some exercise about the words which appeared in this unit, and as you know, it's about robots, about the internet, about the word invention. Do you remember the word invention? Okay, number one, the internet might be the best invention we have, but it has also a lot of problems. It has done, caused, bought, vanished. Of course, here we have the word caused. It has caused a lot of problems. أنا عايزة أقول إن هو تسبب في الكثير من ال problems، فهقول caused a lot of problems. Okay. Caused a lot of problems. The internet might be the best invention we have, but it has also caused a lot of problems. Question number 2. Will this technology have a or a negative effect on our lives? Will this technology have a passive, bad, positive, effective? Of course, here we have or a negative. احنا عايزين حاجة two opposites. Negative. What is the negative? What is the opposite of negative? أكيد هي positive. يبقى احنا بنقول positive or negative effect. Positive or negative effect. اوكي، مش هقول بقى bad ولا passive، لأن bad و passive كمان هي بتديني negative meaning. فأنا I want another word which is the antonym or the opposite of negative. So it's a positive. Positive or negative. Question number 3. But technology isn't always good. It can lead to a lot of. طالما ان هي it's not always good، يبقى it can lead to a lot of what? A lot of advantages. Advantages means good things. A lot of problems, a lot of benefits. Benefits again means good things. A lot of effect. Of course, it's a lot of problems. So technology isn't always good. Sometimes it can lead to a lot of problems. وطبعا a lot of لازم يكون وراها plural، ما ينفعش يكون وراها singular زي كلمة effect كده. Question number 4. The palace has a lot of furniture. The palace. طالما أنا بتكلم على palace, you know the word palace. The palace is the place where the king or the queen live. So it's a very expensive place. So here we wanted to say that the furniture in the palace is very expensive. So the palace has a lot of furniture. Is it luxury, lean, low, cheap? Of course, cheap, we can exclude the word cheap because cheap is the opposite of expensive. Of course, the palace of the king can't have cheap furniture. Low, low is the opposite of high, so it's not low furniture. Or lean, it's luxury. It's luxury furniture. Luxury means high class, means very, very expensive. Question number 5. We should all on our life and not to be affected by photos online. We should all on our life and not to be affected by photos online. Of course, the advice which we listened to in the listening text was to focus on our life and not to look at people's life. So what's it to focus on our life? Conceal, concept, concentrate, contact. Yes, very good. It's concentrate. What's it to concentrate? Concentrate means to focus on something. To concentrate means to focus. So the advice is to concentrate on your life. Concentrate on the things which you have. Don't look at other people's life. So if I say concentrate on your study, means that don't be distracted. Don't look at the television or the mobile or what else. Look at your book and study your lesson. So concentrate means focus on something. Okay, let's look at question number 6. His marks aren't good to join a good university. His marks aren't good to, aren't good such, aren't good enough, aren't good so. Do you remember when we said that one of the most important problems of the internet is that people look at others and they feel that their life isn't good enough. Isn't good enough. يبقى enough بيجي قبلها الادجective isn't good enough. يبقى أنا هنا هقول his marks aren't good enough. Aren't good enough. They aren't good enough to join a good university. لكن لو أنا عايزة أستخدم to هقول too good أو too bad أو too far. يبقى too بيجي وراها الادجكتيف. لكن enough الادجكتيف بيجي before it. فأقول إيه؟ أقول good enough. أقول tall enough. أقول cheap enough. أقول the exam for example is easy enough for me to answer. It's easy enough for me to answer. So the adjective comes before the word enough. Let's look at question number 7. After giving the presentation, she is waiting to get from the bus. After giving the presentation. Presentation means to explain something. After she explained this thing, she is waiting to get from the bus. She is waiting for the bus to tell her his opinion, to tell her the good points and the bad points. What do we call this? We call it the feeding, the feedback, the freedom, fed up. Of course, fed up means that you don't like this thing. I'm fed up means I'm bored with this thing. I'm fed up with this film means I'm bored with it. Freedom, it comes from the word free, that you are free to do whatever you want. Feeding means to make someone eat, so it's a feedback. What's a feedback? Feedback is giving opinion about the good things and bad thing about something. Question number 8. He spends a lot of time with his friends online. What does he do with his friends online? He speaks with his friends. He communicates with his friends. So what do we call this? We call it cheating, achieving, chatting, chilling. Of course, it's chatting. بس احنا هنقول which word of them? Cheating أو الواحدة دي اللي هي بمعنى to be dishonest. To cheat someone, to be dishonest. But it's chatting. Chatting means communicating or speaking. Okay? So we have come to the end of our lesson today. We discussed some new vocab in the listening text. Study them well. And we have some language notes like the word enough. Enough is preceded or the adjective comes before it. Study these notes carefully and answer as many questions as you can. Until we meet again next time, inshallah. Wish you best of luck. Goodbye.